Hey all, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the Dodocool DA150. This is a really interesting wireless Bluetooth speaker because it claims to be high-res audio certified. It's a little stamp that you see embedded onto the surface of the fabric material of the speaker, and it's the same certification you see on expensive hi-fi MP3 players, and it claims to have more detailed audio playback and resolution. It's actually the first time I've seen a high-res audio speaker. Typically, they only come on audio players, MP3 players, things like that, so I expect the sound quality here to be excellent. The price point, though, is still very inexpensive. You can actually find it on Amazon for under $40, which isn't bad at all. And Dodocool also sells a very budget-oriented high-res audio player as well that you can pair it with. The entire package can be found for under $60. So if you are a audiophile and you want to get something really low cost, this could be something to take a look at. Alright, so it has a fabric design that is very much in line with the design philosophy of new smart speakers like the Google Home Mini, things like that. You can see it is a stereo speaker with two 3-watt drivers and a battery capacity of 1200 milliamp hours, which should get you around 6 hours of audio playback before you need to recharge it, and it takes about 2 hours to completely charge up. The packaging here, very simple, and it just charges up using micro USB. We'll take a quick look at the speaker in a second. Down below here we have the instruction manual, and on here there's also kind of a quick warranty guide. This tells you how to pair it up, what the various controls correspond to. On the side compartment, you have access to the charging cable and a optional auxiliary cable as well. And there's also an optional strap that you can attach so that you can hang it and easily take it with you when you're traveling or on the go. But there is no auxiliary cable provided. That 3.5mm cable that you can plug directly into an audio device or into an MP3 player. It supports this feature, but you would have to supply your own. I think this is kind of a strange omission because for high-res audio and the best audio performance in general, you do want a wired connection as opposed to Bluetooth, just because when something is wireless, it tends to lose a little bit of the detail of the sound. So it seems to be kind of an interesting omission, a strange omission, in fact, for a high-res audio player. But we shall see more about the Bluetooth performance in a moment. All right, so the design of the speaker is actually fairly attractive. Again, everything is made out of a cotton fabric, both on the front and the back, so it feels very premium and well constructed. Indeed, we have the high-res audio certification at the bottom here next to the Dodocool logo, and there's also tactile controls for changing the volume, playing and pausing your music, and answering and rejecting a phone call because there is a built-in microphone. On the side here, you have just a rubber construction, 2 loops for the optional kind of strap, soft touch rubber that prevents it from sliding around on a surface, and on the back, this is the passive radiator. There is a USB port because you can use this as a power bank, which is pretty cool, to charge your phone. And there's also the auxiliary port, micro SD card slot port. If you have a SD card loaded with music, it will play it back, and also the charging port, micro USB on-off switch. None of these ports are covered up by rubber, so this is not a waterproof speaker. Make sure you don't get it wet, and you should be fine. Alright, so pausing the music there, the audio sample actually sounds pretty clean and fairly impressive. As I play and also pause the music, you can hear that in between there is no static or distortion. The speaker is completely silent. A lot of times on lower cost, less expensive Bluetooth speakers, you'll hear some music, digital interference, so some humming or hissing in the background. On here, it actually sounds again very clean, even at high volumes, low volumes, and pausing in between. Connection status also seems to be pretty good. It uses Bluetooth version 4.2, and I got a range of roughly 30 feet or 10 meters in my testing. Otherwise, the speaker packs definitely sufficient volume. We were only about 70% in that test, but it filled up the entire room without any problems. So for smaller rooms, for a car, for taking it with you to share with a few people, it more than suffices, and it will definitely be worlds better than any smartphone or laptop speaker. Bass was also present, as you heard in that kind of bass drop moment in the sample audio clip. It's found on the back of the speaker. You can definitely hear and kind of feel the table start to vibrate a little bit, so it's good. It's also not earth-shattering. It could be a little bit more prominent if you are a bass head, but at the same time, it packs overall a fairly balanced sound. I would say it does a great job in terms of mids. And when it comes to highs, it loses a little bit of the detail, but overall, really not that bad, and certainly is one of the better sounding Bluetooth speakers I've tested at this really portable size. So here is a iPhone 6s Plus. You can get an idea, also the same size as the 7 and 8, about the same size as that on the front, so a really portable unit. When it comes to whether or not it justifies the high-res audio kind of logo at the bottom, I think that it's good. It certainly does sound very clean, and it does give you sufficient detail when you're listening to pop music, electronic music, in addition to watching movies. It's also not going to be quite as maybe immersive or impressive sounding as high-res audio certified earphones, or connected to a high-res audio MP3 player. It certainly is harder to really tell because on a Bluetooth speaker there are so many other variables. First of all, it's connected to the phone, and then of course you should find a sample that is in high resolution. If you're just playing back a regular YouTube clip, you don't hear that huge difference. With that being said, as far as Bluetooth speakers go, again, it already sounds quite good. I found that when I plugged in a auxiliary cable, so when using wired connection, the sound quality did improve slightly. I could hear a bit more details between the highs and the lows. So for the best audio quality, you could go there if you're playing back, let's say, classical music or something that requires a bit more careful listening. But overall, it does a great job in terms of volume and overall performance, especially for the cost. Again, I would say that the power bank functionality also does work if you're in an emergency spot and you want to charge up your phone for a few minutes. In addition, the microphone on here also did a good job in our sample test calls. However, it isn't noise canceling, so if you're outdoors and there's wind or other people talking, it struggles a little bit more. At this price, I think that this is a great value for a Bluetooth speaker. Overall, I'm a fan of the look in addition to the sound, although it isn't necessarily going to be the best speaker I've ever heard, nor is it necessarily the best Bluetooth speaker I've heard, because I've tested larger units with bigger drivers that pack, maybe more bass and sounded more impressive at the time. But for something so small, it does a good job. The high-res audio, of course, gives you really high expectations by default, but then keep in mind that as a Bluetooth speaker, you have to make sure that the music you're playing back and the phone that you're using to play back the music is also kind of going to have to match that specification for you to get the full effect. So thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews. This has been the Dodocool DA150 wireless Bluetooth fabric speaker. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.